Welcome to another amazing day at fmtraining.tv. My name is Margaret. I will be your broadcast engineer for today. It's good to have everyone here. I'm here today with the wonderful Nick Hunter, as well as Ken Tooley, who has been gracious enough to give us his file to work on over this past 3 weeks or so, which Nick has been doing a full and live makeover on. So basically, we've been taking Ken's file. And we've been doing, Nick, or rather, I say Nick has been doing a live makeover on it and making it into a really cool file, smoothing out some corners, and, doing his usual, facelift, as it were. So, we've been doing this Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday and Friday will both be Richard days. Script triggers will just be a basic reintroduction, also a reshoot of one of our 30-day CRM things. As Richard went back and was like, this isn't as concise as I'd like it to be. And then Friday will be a fun discussion about network latency. How do you deal with people who don't understand the technical side of anything and their struggles with network latency in FileMaker? And then Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday will be a new series with Nick, Advanced Multi-File Criteria. So that'll be a fun little mini series. Nick, what are we doing today?
So yeah, thank you for the introduction, March, and thank you, Ken, for joining in today with us as every day. That's very cool. So yeah, so what we do, we are going to continue this series of rebuilding Ken's files, and so every day we advance. So we talk about topic by topic like this, and so we cover many things in that webinar, or many things cool. And the last 2 days we pretty much talk about a lot of let statements and how to build efficient calculations, especially for this type of status, right? When we have to update the status based on many criteria, So that's, we learn how to do the process and to lay down everything, and then to refer to things and not repeating the same calculation again. And that we call that optimization. Okay, it's an optimization. And so we learn many things. So so let's do a quick recap about what we did last time. Let me share my screen here. Let me quit all the disruptions. So yeah, so yesterday we work on the status here, right? So we're going to continue the status because that was the main purpose that Ken want us to work on his file, to work on those. So today we're going to advance on those. Okay, so you got the point, about the let statement, right? So what we did yesterday, we did the last one we did, that was the insurance status. So we build a calc, right, in a very efficient manner, right, and to avoid this type of calculation, which is not efficient and doesn't look complicated here because it goes to very straightforward things. But if you have things more complicated than this, like this, for example, I think I have the file open here. I can show you, or I don't. So it's okay. But when the calculation gets complex, right, you need to slice it in many small pieces, right? Because it helps you understand better the calculation. So avoid, doing irrational things and doing crazy things. It helps you debug. It helps you find out the problems, and it prevents to build problem. And also, like we saw yesterday, it makes everything simpler to reuse the same calculation for something else, right? So let's continue. So let me switch up this. So let's continue. So we did the insurance. But we have many others. So we need to do many others. So we have we have the certificate, the flights. We need also to do the medical, right? So let's do the medical, right? So let's do this, right? So let's do the medical status, right? So let's move this a little bit up. Okay, so let's do so that will be the medical, right?
Yep.
So, and medical. Okay, so this will be the medical status, right? And let's build the medical status. So, I'm pretty sure that the same, no, or something different.
Should be real similar.
Yeah, very similar. So we can reuse the insurance status, right? So that is, what we call the reusability of the calc, right? So we are going to comment out. So remember /star, // to comment out. So we paste this, and then we are going to build the same with this data, right? So it's not medical valid. So we go to this field, right? Not this, right? Then we have the missing doc, right? So we have a missing doc, the medical. So we can go, so something, when you're here, we are here already in the managed database, and we are in the option of the field, and we want to edit the auto entry calculation. You can go there, go to manage relationship. Oh, no, we cannot go there from here. Yeah. So we need to, okay. So when you are this situation where you want to go to another table, build something, and come back here, you comment out this calc. So because we don't want to lose it, right? So you comment out this, you close, right? We go to the pilot document, and we do the same for medical, right? So we need to build a tag that will tell us if the medicals file is there or not, right? So we do the medical pick, okay? So that will be medical, okay? So here, this is the way I am naming those things, I like to have all my tag together, right? So I said tag, 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 tag like this. And then it's for missing doc, and then I put whatever it is, right? So missing doc, missing doc, missing doc. And then I put an option, additional info like this way, right? They're all about missing doc. The tag is doing a missing doc tag, because that allows you to do some stuff like this, okay? So let's say you have, we can remove this. So let's say we have you want to go to the missing doc, right? So missing doc, boom, you have all the missing doc. And you can have all the tags as well. You have all the tag, okay? Tag, and you can do this, and then you have only the tags, right? So, and or you can say, yeah, but I want everything about medical. So you got a point here. You can select this text here, or you can type this text here, or you can type this one, right? And you can do this as well. So you can do, okay, I want tag on missing doc medical, right? So tag miss the med. So you see here is doing the search for what you want. So we don't need to add special characters and stuff like this. This is real disruption. When you use name like this, so you need to have what's the name, special character. They need to be there in order to help you. The pipe character is good because that allows you to select things like this, right? So you can say, if you have a lot of things, you can say pipe cert, then you have only pipe cert like this, right? So you can say tag underscore, and then you select all the tag underscore. And because if you say tag, you have more things. You have percentage, for example. But if you want to avoid this, you can just tap this like this. So if the name you use, you need to put information that you can use when you use that inside this. what's the name, inside this dialog, right? So that's very important. The way you name things is very important. So now I have this missing doc medical stuff here, right? So I can go back to the pilot, and now I can go back to my calculation, right? And use it, right? So I uncomment this, right? And I can use our missing doc, tag. See here, for example, here, I can do this, right? I can say, okay, I want the missing doc insurance, or I can just say medical, right? So that's okay. Or I can say this. If I don't remember how it's spelled or whatever, you remove the G and then you have those, right? And you say, okay, I want medical, right? So now I have the tag here, so that I have a missing doc. I have my medical valid, right? And this is not medical. So I can now use that statement here and put it where I need to use it, right here, because otherwise it will be broken. And now I can just use that medical due date, right? And the date stored are the same. So everything here is the same, right? But here, and everything now, everything follows, So I change this. I renamed this to be more accurate, right? And then everything else below is using the same things, right? And here you see the logic here: expire today, everything follows. So I didn't even touch that. Just I changed this, but that's it. I don't touch anything on here because everything follows, right? Everything flows, right? So I changed three things in the calculation, and that's it. It's done. My state is done.
Yeah, this one has one little nuance in it. The missing doc actually needs to return an NA.
Okay. Oh, okay.
A non-applicable. Yeah, just that text right there.
Yeah, this one.
Perfect.
If it's missing doc, he said NA. Okay, so that's okay. Yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah, that's just the nuance of that document.
Yeah. And then we can do another one. We have annual registration and airworthiness. So we can continue working on those our statuses, right? So we have the annual. So
these are from the balloon table now. These are going to be from the balloon table.
Okay, so let's do that later. Okay, so now let's work. Let's arrange those things. So we have the medical, the insurance status, right? So let's see if everything works, okay? So we can open the balloon table, which is one.
Yeah.
I mean the balloon, the
pilot table.
Okay, the pilot, yeah, the document table, right? So I don't see here the document.
The medical wasn't there.
Yeah, okay, let's put it. So let's put the medical here, and let's put the medical picture. Where is it? Medical picked.
Right there.
Okay. Okay, so now we have everything. Okay. So we have the tag and we have everything. So let's say I'm putting something here. So the tag said missing doc no, right? And here it said expire here. So I think that because the dates, but it doesn't say missing doc. If I remove this, it will say NA or something like this. Yeah. So it said NA because we don't have the medical pick. So you saw that thanks to my trigger, thanks to the trigger I have here on commits, right? This here is just a set field on the related table, right? I have a relationship between this table and the other table, right? And then from here, I'm updating this field here, and this field, updating this field is said brum, right? So demonstration, right? So if I put that here, see the date here is said 1801, right? I put this here, I commit. Now it said 1846, and it changed all the things, right? So if I remove one of those, if I remove one of those, if I remove one of those, we see everything we change, all the status we change, boom, 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 right? So and if I put back everything, commit, and you see, boom, all the status change and the conditional and everything. So, and this is not something that will ruin your, what's the name? That will ruin your performance, because they are all auto entry calculations, right? And they will trigger when any of the field used in that calculation is changed, or if you change that field. That field is the super remote control, right? When you change this, boom, it's trigger everything. So now we have many status here, right? So we have many status. We have those, and we have those, right? So this is from. So let's go. So we have many things here. We pretty much put everything, and but explain us a little bit what this is doing.
So pilots can have one or many balloons.
Okay.
And so that's a portal that just shows the balloons that are associated with that pilot. And it just gives me a quick summary that the status of that balloon is like that top one is current, the second one is missing information. I identify, and it's not correct in my information there, I identify one of those balloons as being their primary balloon, and that's the status that I bring up that you looked at before, the annual registration and airworthiness certificate.
Okay, so let's work on this, right? So let's say we have this done, right? So let's say now we're going to work on that side here, right? So I'm going to open I need to open that file, so I'm pausing this right quick. So I'm going to open another file where I have all built already, right? So I have a very recent one, so I'm going to use that one. So we're going to use reuse objects, okay? So I'm going to continue doing that demonstration of how to reuse objects, right? And why it is important, okay, to reuse many objects as much as possible, okay? And that's why, okay, so what you need to have in your way of building things is to have consistency always. If you work on one file only, that's easy. But if you work on many files like I do, consistency will prevent you to redo the same over and over again, okay, to rebuild. And that will save you a lot of time, right? So here I have a file. So let me resume my sharing here. Okay. Here I have another file with, kind of the same design, right? And I want to transport this over there, okay? So I want to migrate this tab, slides, over there. But all those things, all those objects, they rely on the same scripts always. Okay, so I have one script for to manage all of this on every single layout of the solution. That will be the same script and the same, the same thing. And if I copy everything and I paste everything to another file, also everything will get together. So let me show you. So here I have scripts. So I don't know if I don't remember here. Yeah, I have. So all those scripts here, right? All those scripts that I put on top of my script list always are the script I'm using and using and using again. That the one for the navigation, all those scripts here, that are for the slide navigation, the slide navigation is this, the navigation for this button here that goes to another slide, okay? And you have select objects, delete item, right? For example, here the delete item is very cool. I have one button delete, but we delete many things, in FileMaker. We don't just delete, when we delete things, we delete total record and fields. What I call delete field is blank field, okay? Blank field, right? So, and here you have a typical advanced universal script. Okay, so what is a universal script? The scripts that do the same type of action, which is delete item. But depending on where you delete that, you know, you want to perform a delete poll, delete a record, or a blank field. Okay. And also you have an options. You have option. Maybe you want to go somewhere. Maybe you want to refresh something, or maybe you want to trigger something, right? So you want to delete something and then, for example, update a status, right? Or update a number. For example, if you have 10 documents and you delete one of the list, you want the calculation that give you the number, the amount of documents you have, you want that number to be updated because now you have 9. You don't have 10 anymore because you just delete one, right? So you want to delete, and at the same time, you say delete and update and trigger, right? Trigger a field that will evaluate auto entry calculation that will make the data accurate, right? So this typical script that I'm using here. So the slide navigation is the same. So I have one with animation and one without animation. Okay. So the one with animation is this, but typically, you know, and the slide no navigation is this one, right? So it's typical, you know, I'm saying, okay, go to object, because maybe sometime I want to go to 2 objects different at the same time. Sometimes you want to refresh, and sometimes you want to trigger something, right? So, right? So depending on what you want to do, you have options, right? You can add things, additional things, right, to your scripts, and that is based on the trigger, the parameters, right? So let's do the demonstration with this one, right? Right? Demonstration with this one. So I want to copy this 2 object here. Remember, this script here is in the file, Kent's file, and those are named always the same. You know, I copy paste the script, and I never rename those scripts. Never, ever. You know, never rename those scripts. Why? Because in that database, that my client database here, I'm using to do that. I'm using the script 0002, and I say I want to go to slide 1, and this button here also says trigger the 0002 script, right? And go to the slide number 2. Okay. So now if I copy those 2 things, I copy this and I copy this, right? I copy those 2 objects, and I can copy this one as well, the background. So I copy this, and I'm going to Ken's files, and I'm going to paste it, right? Yeah, so the paste on FileMaker sometimes takes a long time. So because the scripts are named the same, everything will work without doing any work, without doing anything, right? It will just work because from one file to another, you have exactly the same scripts named the same way. So copying an object, FileMaker is smart enough to reconnect the dots based on the script name, right? That's why consistency is so important, right? So I have my object here, right? So I can put here. So my client file is has a very large screen, but I can keep it. I can keep it that way. Why it's not doing the? Okay. Okay, so I need a little bit more. When I do Zoom, it's so slow. So let's put that. Oh, I have this stuff coming in. Somebody can tell me how we can remove that stuff here. I have no idea how to remove that OneDrive stuff. I install Excel and now I have this and slow me down everything. So I'm doing this, right? So I'm resizing the layout like this. So now all those objects that I copy from the other file, I don't need them, right? I can just remove them, right? And I remove all those objects I don't need. I just need the two objects. I need the slide control because I have a slide control here. So we've two slides, right? So I need the slide control, but I can remove all those objects here. I don't need that. I can just remove those, right? And select all and delete all, right? Delete this, delete this, delete this, and delete this. So I don't need those. I just need the slide, right? I don't know if this is okay. Oh, I have a slide in the slide. Okay, yeah. So I need the two. This is a slide control. So I have a slide control here, and I have a button bar here. So in this slide control, I have two slides, right? So,
okay.
And here I have two buttons. So now, like by magic, because I copy the object from the file with a script, and I have exactly the same script on the other file, automatically everything flow, right? So that gave me an opportunity to talk a little bit about this, right? About the slide and the button bar. Okay, so slide button bar. Yeah. FileMaker has the tab control, right? But this it's years I never use it. Years I completely abandoned this object, totally completely abandoned. And I explain why. Okay, first, when you do this, you say create, right? And then you say you said create, right? And if you rename this one and you press OK, you forgot everything you did. If you do this and press OK, you forgot everything. So you need to go there, do this, rename, and then OK. Then you have absolutely no control whatsoever on this, on the tab justification and the label with the margin, the minimum, the fix off, all of those things really complicated. You have no control on the text. You have very, very few control here, right? So you have only the tab control here. You have only the control on the tab. So you have it's very cumbersome to work on the tab itself, right? It's very cumbersome to work on this, right? So it's not comfortable. You have no way to add an icon, right? And you have no way to build something like this. No way. Okay. You have no icon. You have few controls, right? Personally, I abandoned this object totally. I abandoned it because FileMaker anyway made the thing very clear. This object will never ever evaluate, in the future. Never. Okay, never. Why? And I have the answer for you. FileMaker has made everything to make the couple slide control and button bar to work in tandem, to work together, right? A slide control is like a tab, right? A slide control, that's why you have this here. On the side of tab, you have slide. Why? Because this is a tab, This is a tab. It's the same. It's the same, right? Proof of it, okay? If you have this object here, the infamous tab, right? And you want to use trigger on this. See how it looks? It looks so bad. Okay, so now if you want to use a trigger on this, right? You use an on panel switch. Okay, see, this is a trigger that be used on this, right? It is the same we use on this, on the slide, on panel switch. Because for FileMaker, this is a panel and this is a panel, right? Right? So if I go there, so this is the same thing. For FileMaker, these two objects are the same. Tab, tab, okay? So they are exactly the same and they have exactly the same function, which is if I put an object, here, I go to the next tab, I can use the button here, but otherwise I can use other ways, right? I do this. This is the object 2. I do this. This is the object 3, right? Like this.
Yep.
And if I have the tab, right? If I have the tab, it's the same, right? So if I have 1, 2, and 3, so I have 3 tabs. It doesn't show me, but it's okay. I can do the same thing. So I can go there, right? And go to the slide number 1 and copy this object and put here. That will be the same way. It will work the same. The only difference we have between those two objects is that we have in one object here, we have the tab and the slide. Okay, the panel. We have the tab and the panel. And the tab and the panel is one object. Here, the panel, right, which is a slide control, and the tab are two different objects. So the advantage, so let's destroy this and destroy this. What is the advantage, right? So let's move that out, this one, and let's go there and move that out. Okay. So the what's the name? The advantage of this, so here I am on the slide number 2. This object, so let's put some color in the background, just to make sure you understand. So let's put some colors. Okay. Here I have 2 slides, 2, right? 1 and 2. If I put on the first object, on the first slide, I put object 1. Here I have object 2, object 1, object 2. Now, how this button bar and the slide control can work together, okay? That's easy. We use a go-to object. So here I have, so see here the design I have, Yes, that's okay. It's because I have a slide. It's okay. I'm going to fix this. That's another problem, but I'm not going to talk about that today, so I'm going to remove that. I'm going to remove this.
That was the slide in a slide?
Yeah, but I'm going to talk about that later. Okay. So I have this. See? It's working together, right? And you see the design I have here? Forget about doing something like that with the tab control. It's impossible. Don't even try, right? So I have an icon, or I have a name underneath, right? And this is something I get for free with my tab, right? With my button bar, that's for free, I have it here. I use the design here, the icon on top, and on the bottom I have the text. I can switch, I can do that if I want, right? So you can change the design so you have much more power, right, than the regular tab. The big advantage also is that this is a button. It's a button. So I can tell this button to do whatever I want. On the tab control, it's not a button. It's not. So I see many people are having a great difficulty with the tab control because they want to click on the tab, but they want something to happen also, like a set field or whatever, And that is a nightmare to do because you need to do that with a trigger. You cannot ask the button on the tab control to do something, right? The button on the tab, you cannot ask the button to do something. It's because it's built in the objects, so you cannot ask the tab to do anything, right? You can't. This I can say go where I don't have execute script where I don't. The only way is to add a script on panel switch. Yeah, but it's a nightmare because these scripts will be triggered on each tab the same. So you need to say if get object layout attributes is front panel, is not it. Wow. It's a nightmare. It's a big nightmare to do that. If you want to click on this and have the action to go to the, what's the name? Go to the panel, and at the same time you want to set a field, for example. Good luck with this. Good luck, So it's not possible. So with this, not only I can say, okay, do whatever I want to do, go to the slide, right? But I can tell, go and do something else on the same time. I can trigger a script. I can build a script that say, go to the slide I want to go and do something else. And, so it's a true script, right? So that's a big advantage, right? Big advantage. So how this works? So we have a go-to object, right? And here I have a go-to object. That's it, right? So I go to object, right? The object name comes from the parameter. So the same script, I can say go to that object. This one is the same script, but go to that object. So, and we name, so thanks to the object tree now is way simpler to name objects. So you need to name the objects, okay? You need to name the object. So you name the object in a way, you don't say, you don't give a name. So here an advice for you, okay? Never give a name of an object personalized, an object with like a name on top of it, like something like PDF slide or whatever, name slide, or no. Like here, for example, I want to create a balloon. I want to create a balloon tab, okay? So I don't name that tab balloon. I don't go there and say, okay, this is balloon. I don't do that because I cut my whatever my reusability. Yeah, it's finished. It's closed. It's gone. You don't have portability. Forget about it. No, you give generic names like slide 1, slide 2, slide 3. And that gives you a big advantage. Big advantage. Because like you see here in that example, I have 2 main slides, right? So if I click here, in this here, I have two slides, right? I have this one and this one. This one, this one. But in that slide, right, I have another one. So I have two slides. I have the main slide with two, and I have this one here. Inside, I have nested slides that do this within the second one, right? So thanks to my naming slide one, slide two, here, this slide, the main slide, this slide here, let me show you the object tree. This is my main slide. Okay. This is my main slide, so sorry for that, is on the bottom, but maybe I can filter this panel control. Okay. In this slide, I have two slides. I have slide number one, right? And I have slide number two. And inside the slide number two, I have another slide control, right? And I name them slide 2.1, slide 2.2. Why? Because this slide control is inside the slide 2 of that control. So in the panel 2, slide 2, I have another slide control, and that also has two slides. So I name them 2.1, 2.2. Why? Because that give me an information. I know by the name of this, I know where this is located. This is located inside the slide number 2 of that slide control, right? If I want to do the same in the first, it would have been named slide 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, right? And if I want to add another slide inside this one, I would have said slide 2.2.1, 2.2.2, 2.2.3, because it is located in the slide 2.2. So you understand. So I give the prefix name of the parent slide, and then I put a number, I number them like this, right? So that gives you many advantages. First, portability, reusability. Second, you don't need to care about the names, a balloon, and status and pictures and document. No, you don't, because you can have, you can learn, and with that technique also, okay, so, you can do things that you cannot do with a tab control. Believe it or not, okay, this and that is the same as this and that. I mean, this is a tab control. This is a button bar. This is a button bar. They don't look at all the same, but they act exactly the same, right? But they don't look the same. So I can get them to look completely different. And I want to show you this. I have a great example here on the parser layer, because this is where you want to go, and that's a big advantage. Sorry guys, I don't know why my computer is so slow. I need to investigate this. So here, look, I have this. It's a button bar, right? That is manipulating this slide, right? So I know I have a slide here, even if it's transparent. I know, because if I have this, that means just underneath I have a tab, I have a slide. And here I have inside that slide, right? I have also another slide, this one. So I have inside the slide number 1 here, I have this slide control, which is named 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 4, 5, 6. Those, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Also, with the object tree, you can navigate through your slides, right? With that name, you know, I want to go to the slide, I don't know, 8.2. Directly, I know the name, so slide 8.2, right? Everything's so freaking slow. Okay, so it's there. I can go straight there. Straight, right? Because of the name, right? So let's go back to my first tab, right? Which is here, right? And now you can see here, and let's go to that slide too. Okay. So here, I have one button bar, one slide, one button bar, another slide, and believe it or not, I have another slide inside too. This. And this is the button. It's a button bar, button bar, button bar. They don't look the same. So you don't, it's not the same design or, you know, because that is difficult to identify, right? And I have another slide here that says, okay, I want to see all those data as a chart, right? So I have this toggle button here, but it's a button bar that goes to a slide which is named the slide here, slide 1.1.2, because I am in the slide 1, slide 1.1, and here I have the 1.12 and 1. See, I have 3 nested like this. So imagine that if you have 3 nested tab control, right, how bad that will look, because you cannot control like I've done here, right, to look something like this, you know? So freaking slow. Everything's so slow. I think it's the Microsoft stuff is doing something. I don't know what. I know Microsoft always screw me up. Okay, so so this is how it looks. Does it looks busy, and does it look, you know, uncomfortable to you? Absolutely not. This is the tab, you know, and you can see inside here also I have another nested one, right? Like this. So tags, okay, and I have this. It's the same, right? So this tab things, it's never ending. You can go as far as you want, right? And you can get crazy things, right? Like this, right? So those are slides also, right? So I have many slides here that, but it doesn't look uncomfortable, right? And I don't have any struggle to make them look completely different, right? Like this, right? So do you have any question?
But we do actually. What is the tag? Is it a Boolean?
The tag. Oh, this?
That's
here?
from way, yeah, that's been there for a long time when we were talking about tags back in my file.
Yeah. Oh, what the tag? Yeah, it's okay. What I call tag, it's a Boolean, you know, 1-0. It's a tag, you know, a tag it, you know. So you put a 1 or 0, you know. I don't use for something else. I know tag is Boolean, you know. Is the answer is 0 or 1, right? Always. Yeah. So the question?
Yes. Well, This kind of more asking about, can you make a tiger file available as an example file, like as a separate file or a separate discussion?
A tiger, no, a trigger
Trigger.
field.
I think that's what he meant. Yeah.
Can I? Okay, so can you repeat that?
Can you make a trigger file available as an example file?
You have plenty, but I can do that. Yeah, I can build a simple one. You know, I don't want to do that right now because everything's so slow. I don't, you know, it's I don't know what happened with this Zoom stuff. It's draining my power. It's you know, yeah. So yeah, I can build that. So I have two things on the pipe here. I have I'm building a file with all my custom function, but I'm putting comments to explain what this is doing, right? So for all functions, right? So I start that 2 days ago. I'm going to have it pretty soon, right? But I want to write all the description of what the function do and how it works. Otherwise, you know, you will see a bunch of calculation. You will say, well, what is, right? So yeah, I'm doing that, and I'm going to do a trigger, a real simple trigger like this, you know, like you know, very trigger. But you know, the trigger could be very interesting, you know, because you know, you can ask a field to interact with another one, right? And so it's very interesting things. Yeah. So do I have any other questions?
No, you're good, I think.
Okay. So I think we got the point here with the, you know, with this tab, the tab business, because if we do something like this, you know, we have this and we do 1, 2, 3, 4, for example. You know, I'm doing an example. I have absolutely no control on this, or very few control. You know, I have very few control on this. So if I want to do what I'm doing using this object, this is how it will look like. Okay, so this is how it will look like. A typical Windows 95 UI. Okay, so good luck. You click, you know, good luck with this, you know, how that works, you know, if you have something like this, right? So this, and that's exactly what I have here. I have this, I have the same, 1, 2, 3. I have 1, 2, and 3, right? But it doesn't look like this, right? So I think I made my point here. So I think today we're going to be on time. I don't want to go because I have no idea why my computer is so slow. I can't even drag an object and stuff like that. So I need to fix that as soon as possible. So so we're going to stop on time today, right? And so if we don't have any other question.
I'm looking. Just David letting you know, at the top menu of Mac OS, there should be a cloud icon, and from there you can stop OneDrive. So it can stop messing with your charge.
Yeah, okay, I will do that. Thank you very much.
Okay, other than that, I think we're good. Thank you very much.
Okay, yeah, so today on time for the...
Hey, it has to happen sometime, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, but tomorrow we do more, but we do. I promise. But I have difficulty. I don't know why it's so slow. I don't know. So I need to investigate. You know, I need to investigate.
We're good. Thank you very much, Nick. Thank you very much, Ken. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yay.
Got a report of an individual up here who may be a FileMaker license. Well, it's potentially expired. Look at the back of that car right there. Looks like the FileMaker license has expired. Sir, I need you to step out of the vehicle. Sir, step out of the vehicle. Sir!